Julius Caesar, Act 5, Scene 3. On the battlefield of Philippi, Cassius's army is retreating, and Cassius is enraged. When he sees his flag bearer running away like a coward, he kills him to set an example for the rest of the soldiers that they should just march forward. He's sad that he has to be a villain to his own soldiers, and he expresses this sadness to his friend Titinius. Titinius blames Brutus for this fiasco. He says that since Brutus got an edge over Octavius's army, he became overconfident and even sent a message to Cassius's army to attack Antony's army. Not understanding that Antony's army, though it seemed to be laid back, they were just pretending to be, it was a trap. Cassius's army was trapped in it and they were getting defeated. He also complained how Brutus's soldiers, after having defeated Octavius's army, instead of coming to the rescue of Cassius and his soldiers to help them out, they were plundering and looting after having won at their end. And now, Cassius had no choice but to hide into the hilly areas and watch from there how his tents were being burnt by Antony's army. He sends Titinius towards Brutus's end of the battlefield to get some news. He wants to know if the soldiers rejoicing are Brutus's or Octavius's. He wants assurance. Is there still hope? He also asks Pindarus, his slave servant, to go to a higher altitude and comment about what's happening while Titinius travels on his horse towards the soldiers. And Pindarus narrates what he sees. You see, Cassius cannot see clearly for himself. So he narrates how, as Titinius was going towards the soldiers, two soldiers came towards him. But Titinius did not take a U-turn. Then he saw the two soldiers get down from their horses, and Titinius did the same. And the two soldiers started celebrating as if they had captured Titinius. And when Pindarus told Cassius that Titinius had been captured, Cassius told Pindarus to come down. He did not want to hear it anymore. He felt very guilty that he had sent Titinius on such a fatal mission. He felt responsible for Titinius' capture and ultimately his death. He did not want to live anymore because Titinius was a very close friend of Cassius. And Cassius was so depressed that he had brain fog, meaning he was not able to think logically. Often depression, melancholy makes us commit errors of judgment, and here he makes a big judgment error. First of all, he told Pindarus to stop narrating the incident. If only he would have continued the observation, he would realize that actually Pindarus had misinterpreted whatever happened. The soldiers were actually Brutus's soldiers and they were celebrating their victory. And so there was still hope. But Cassius was in such a rush to die that he commanded Pindarus to kill him with the sword, with his sword, with the same sword with which Cassius had stabbed Caesar. Cassius reminded Pindarus that when he had enslaved him in Parthia and he had decided not to kill him, he took a promise from Pindarus that he will obey whatever instructions are given to him. So Pindarus had no choice but to stab Cassius and kill him. Yes, he became free after that. He decided to escape Rome, go to some other country and live like a free man. But that was not the reason why he killed Cassius. He truly loved his master. And if he had the choice, he would not buy his freedom at the cost of his master's life. That is Cassius's life. In the meanwhile, Titinius and Messala arrive and they are eager to give the good news to Cassius that Brutus has won at his end. But when they see Cassius's dead body, Titinius is very sad. He says that the red blood of Cassius's body reminds him of the red rays of the setting sun. And just like the sun sets, the sun is setting on Rome. The glorious days of Rome are over and the dark era has begun with the death of great men like Cassius. Messala searches for Pindarus, but he is nowhere to be seen. Messala decides to go back and inform this sad news to Brutus. And when he's gone, Titinius commits suicide as well because he could not bear the loss of his dear friend. And he knew that now there was no chance of winning this battle. But before this, he completes the last task given to him of garlanding Cassius. He puts the garland on him and then stabs himself with his sword. By this time, Brutus, young Cato, that is Porcia's brother, and Messala return and they discover Titinius' body Brutus feels that it is Caesar's spirit which is turning their swords into their bowels and killing them. He praises Cassius and Titinius that they were two of the bravest Romans who ever lived in Rome. But Brutus is pragmatic. He feels that he ought to shed more tears at the loss of his dear friends, but that was not the time because there was still a war going on. So he instructs them to send Cassius's body to Thassos, because if they do the funeral there, it will demoralize the soldiers. And Thassos is a special place for the funeral rites of great leaders like Cassius. And then he prepares for the second phase of the battle, which will start after 3 p.m. And by night, the results will be out. And he knows that he will be defeated and he would die. Hi students, this is AJ sir. If you found this video useful, press the like button. Also, if you'd like to enroll for my test series or online lectures, email me or message me on Instagram. Check my description for more information.